On behalf of the Mahikari Expansion Discussion Group, thank you so much for giving us this opportunity to be able to be together today and share words of encouragement and wisdom. We're so gracious to be able to have Cynthia leading our call today and bringing in her insights and her experience. Thank you very much for the spring grand ceremony that several of us participated in, and we look forward to a wonderful 2026. Thank you very much. One bow, four claps. Isanami-o, Kunitamo, Kuninushino, Kimisma. Good evening on behalf of the Mahikari Expansion Discussion Group. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity today to come together and enjoy words of gratitude and insight from Cynthia. We appreciate her taking the time to be able to lead this call today. Thank you also for the Spring Grand Ceremony and for a wonderful start to the new year. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Bruce. It's my honor and privilege to introduce Cynthia Lees. Oh my gosh, I think her resume is mile long. Most of it involves light, and a lot of us don't even know she does other things. She's a light practitioner, a transformational coach, an author, an educator, a publisher. She, as a practitioner of true light, her goal is to be of service, breathing into being a person of light and love, spreading ripples of gratitude around the globe with the prayer of creating heaven on earth even one day sooner. Her mantra is be kind, be God's love and light. And when we send out the recording of the call, we will send out some of her links for her author page, her gratitude journals, descriptions about coloring books. Oh my God. You name it, this woman is doing it. And one of the most creative people I know in spreading Sue God's love and light while being so God centered. Thank you, Cynthia. Can't wait to hear what you're going to share with us today.
Thank you. Thank you very much for asking me. And the spur of the moment ask, Viji, is best because life is moving so fast. So when you ask me and I'm driving to Atlanta, it's just a yes. And I'm very grateful for the guidance of asking me to share simply an experience story that, Jan, I see that you're here. You've heard this before. When I presented this in Atlanta in December, Jan had an amazing story too. You should ask her to share hers while she's here. Because yeah. And the experiences just keep piling on. And I'm thrilled to have put together here that, yeah, Bruce was just at Spring Grand too, because I've been having experiences lately that have proven to me that the promise that I've been giving other people, yeah, really is there of the light affecting spiritually related souls, where I felt physical healing and, all of a sudden one afternoon and discovered the next day that it was because a very spiritually connected soul had just been in front of the biggest Goshentai in the U.S. receiving a full session of light, without an appointment. I'm like, oh, okay. Hey, that works. So I was really amazed. And then after that, the next weekend was Spring Grand and things just got better. So anyway, let me share this experience story as has been approved. My name is Cynthia Lees, and I have recently been granted intermediate Omitama. I'm so very grateful to Sugod, the Lees family ancestors, Squeenie Nushi-sama, Seishio-sama, Oshini Nushi-sama, my spirit guardians, members of the Atlanta Center, members of the Reno Center, where I received my first precious Omitama on Sunday, October 18th, 2020, to my soul sisters and brothers from the daily Joy of Morning prayer call, hosted by fellow Kumite or Sukyo Mahikari members, my family, and all those in my life who supported my journey to the 47th intermediate course in the North American region. With everyone's help, on Sunday, September 28th, 2025, I gratefully and tearfully accepted my elevated intermediate omitama. I'm so very grateful for the new, stronger light, with the awareness that the light I offer is not for me or the recipient, but for the entire world and universe. Since elevating omitama, I have been blessed with further opportunities to share this wonderful gift. Already starting with the way home from intermediate course, I was allowed to offer light to several people. On Monday morning in the airport, I exchanged point number 8, also known as the main soul or forehead point, with my roommate for the course, another newly elevated candidate, before we parted ways. When I later got off my plane, I thought about the 4-hour drive back to my home in the mountains in Kentucky and decided to first seek out someone else that I could give light to. I decided to call my friend, who graciously accepted. I went to his house and saw that he was not at home, but then he pulled up right behind me, chauffeured by a young woman who I didn't know. I joyfully greeted her with, "May I offer you light?" And without knowing what that was, she accepted. And I was able to offer light to the main soul, to both of them. And before starting the car again, I prayed for safe travels and to spread God's light over the traffic, the roads, and lands through which I would pass. Raising my hand for the 4-hour drive home, I was so grateful to be carrying a meal for the Lee's family ancestors. They got served after midnight when I arrived. Let me turn this off. Excuse me. My next set of experiences is related to travels that I made around October 11th. After receiving my secondary omitama in September 2025, I journeyed to the D.C., Maryland, Virginia, or DMV area for a Getting Related or a networking event with the same online colleagues with some online colleagues that I have from Landmark Worldwide. And the planned event at the beach was for residents of the DMV area, but I offered that I would travel from Kentucky to join them, also in hopes to offer divine light to the attendees. Initially, Google predicted 10 hours of travel, which I expected would end up being a little more due to breaks. I took an hour's nap in a rest area from 2 to 3 in the morning, and then around 4 in the morning, in the middle of nowhere outside Lexington, Virginia, my check engine light came on. I was forced to make another stop, and I checked my tires, but could not identify any issues. Mysteriously, the warning light turned itself off, so I continued along my way. Later that morning, I got on my daily 7 a.m. call with colleagues where we typically create possibilities or set intentions for the day. And for the record, mine is generally some version of possibility I'm creating for myself and my life today is joyous, smiling service, and it might be with peace and ease or something like that. But it's always about the smiling service. And so I created and shared a possibility for myself and my life of service with a smile and spreading light and love, and requested prayer for continued safe travels from the listeners on the call, stating that I was bound for a relatedness event and had experienced a check engine light earlier. And so when I stopped again at 9:30 in the morning to use the restroom, I also checked my messages. And then my early request on that 7 a.m. call for prayer had caused my friend Sujatha to reach out, saying that she was in Virginia and she'd heard my request for safe travels and asked if she could help me in any way. And she was nearby, but was not going to be at the relatedness event in the afternoon because of a schedule conflict. And I explained that my whole purpose for attending, my mission in life, was to spread light, and asked, "May I offer you light?" She asked where I was. Then she gave me an address, and I met her an hour later outside of a Whole Foods in Springfield, Virginia. I was buzzing and babbling from having been 16 hours on the road. Before I even offered her light, she became interested in, "What's that thing you're talking about doing tomorrow?" I'd been saying I was coming to offer light, and I was motivated because the next day was the monthly ceremony in D.C., and the power of attending a ceremony with the Holy Ghost Shintai and other members was so amazing. Before ever receiving light, Sujatha was already committed to attending the ceremony the next day. We sat outside this busy Whole Foods with people walking past. My friend received 10 minutes of number 8. I offered both the Amatsu no Rigoto prayer and the Chore prayer. When we concluded, I said, "Thank you for allowing me to offer you divine light." I was floored when Sujatha replied, "How can I offer you this light?" This led to conversation where I explained the details to her about the primary course and suggested that she connect with someone at the DC Center the next day, which she did at Bruce's ear. I ultimately arrived at the Relatedness event 18 and a half hours after I left home. At the event, I was able to offer light to several individuals, and in the evening, I joined an outreach event at a yoga studio conducted by the DC Mahikari Center and was able to give light to people there as well. And it's not in the story, but that was an adventure in itself. I live in a mountain where you can park in a pasture, and now you're in city parking and it's raining, and could I even find the place? And God sent somebody out to help me park because I was in this I had no way to do it in the rain and I couldn't navigate it. And somebody came out and helped me, guide me. And it was, yes, I have angels all along my travels. Okay. On the following day, on Sunday, October 12th, I missed the monthly Thanksgiving ceremony at my home center in Atlanta, but instead attended the monthly ceremony in DC with several guests, including one that was only 9 years old. During that ceremony, Hossa Roberts recognized that many DC members who had recently received intermediate Omitama following the intermediate spiritual development course in September. I was able to be acknowledged for being among them. After the ceremony, I met with my guests, my colleagues Sujatha and Jose's son Christian, for lunch at the Thai Pod restaurant next door to the center, where Bruce McBarnette, the DC expansion coordinator, thank you very much, Bruce, joined us to expand on the conversation about light opportunities available in their respective areas in the greater DC area. To this day, I keep in touch with my guests, helping them on their journey to giving light themselves. And again, I will digress from the formal report and say, Bruce, do check your email because Jose will be reaching out. And yes. Finally, I would like to share about my ongoing relationship with the community in Nashville. Previously in September, when I went to California for the intermediate course, I asked to park for free in fellow Kumite Holly Bruce's driveway while I flew out of the Nashville airport. I called towards the end of October about using her driveway again on my way to Japan for Autumn Grand Ceremony and was delighted to hear that in the time since we last saw each other, she was approved for another light event. Then I checked with my pastor, who also lives in the area. I served as his assistant for a dozen years before moving to Kentucky 3 years ago. He has been enthusiastic about receiving light for a while, and I make an effort to offer him light each time I pass through town, including when I was returning from intermediate course. But when I called this time, he wasn't answering his phone. Eventually, I texted and spoke with his wife, learned that he was in the hospital and had been gone for over a week, cleansing after a fall, and was told he was seeking to receive light. Now, as my prior experience with him was that he never wanted visitors in the hospital because he was there to heal, I was appropriately impressed to hear his request for light. I've never visited the man in the hospital. He's been there before. When I went to visit, my pastor also had 2 visitors, one being his wife and the other a longtime colleague, Joseph, who is the brother of a late friend of mine, the former church sexton. Joseph asked about the light I had offered the pastor and asked to receive light himself. I'm grateful to have offered light with the Chore and given him a green pamphlet and connected him via text message with Carol Murray, another Kumite residing in Nashville. Then, perhaps because Joseph showed so much interest, the pastor's wife agreed to receive light for the first time. My experience of her in the past, when I brought light to church events, was of almost shepherding her grandchildren past me, avoiding this strange practice. I was grateful for the opportunity and offered her forehead point without the Chore. I hope to steadily continue sharing the light with my pastor and others whenever I get the chance to be in Nashville. I'm pleased to say that Joseph has since attended Holly's Light Circle. Since September, I'm grateful to be thanking people for having received light for the first time and to reassure them that even if they had no profound experience, the light energy served everyone connected to them by a spiritual cord, whether in the physical realm or beyond. I thank them for their service to that cause and ask how I can connect to them with more opportunities to receive light again. I'm grateful to Izuname-sama for the power of connecting on the internet, where I am inspired by joining discussions such as the Atlanta Great Virtues Call on Saturday mornings, the monthly Golden Teachings Call out of Houston, and the weekly Origins Call out of LA Chudojo, studying the Gosegan when I can be awake for 90 minutes beginning at 9:30 p.m. Thankfully, they've changed it to 8:30 for prayer, harmonization, and expansion calls, including the daily Joy of Morning prayer call, the Saturday afternoon North American harmonization call, and the monthly expansion discussion group, which we're in at the moment. My connections online, in courses, and with fellow kumite allow me inspiration and guidance for further service, as well as an invitation platform. I'm beginning to guide others online and have a group forming for the purpose of accountability. When, where, how they're planning to receive light, visit a center, speak to staff, and plan to take the primary course so that they too can spread God's light in the world and work toward the realization of the divine plan. My many experiences keep me connected as an out-of-town member and inspire me to strive harder in my service to God. The lessons along the way have been humbling. Thank you, Sugod, founder and holy masters, ancestors, and spirit guardians who made it possible for me to participate in the intermediate course. I pray that I may make you proud and serve you well as I participate in the divine plan and seek to guide many others to become part of the 10,000 God-centered, light-centered leaders who are changing the world to one of true light. December 14th, 2025, representative of all Atlanta members, Cynthia Lees. Oh, sorry, I didn't know my video was off. When did that happen?
I thought maybe your signal strength was not good.
No, I don't know. I must have bumped something. My apologies. Anyway, that's all she wrote at this point.
That's a
Very good.
You just muted yourself, Bruce.
Thank you so much. Wonderful job.
Thank you, Cynthia. I know that you crystallized a lot of things into little sentences and sections. So grateful to you. Thank you so much. Let's see what comments are coming up from our group and any questions. And maybe there'll be sharing of people's stories too.
Yes. I invite Janice Minnis to pull one out. I know she's got at least two in her hat that I've heard recently that are just amazing.
Yes, Janice.
She may not be in a position.
Got it. And we'll have her come on separately with her stories. But
Yes.
maybe just to get highlights, she always has something to share. Anyone, any thoughts, any comments? Susan Nakau.
I have a question. Tell me about the church that you give light to the minister. What?
Metropolitan Interdenominational Church. It's not they call themselves a whosoever church. It's not affiliated with any other.
Do they use the Bible as their main?
The NRSV, New Revised Standard Version, is what they were using when I was there. Yeah.
I have to tell you also that I heard today from a friend that you taught middle school English.
Yeah, English language arts.
Huh?
Yes.
English and literature.
English language arts. So yes, middle school English. Yeah.
How many years did you do that?
13.
Oh my God. I taught middle school art for 3.
And that was enough. Oh, I love middle school. I don't think I could do middle school art, though. That would be dangerous.
It was great. It was wonderful. They're the most highly motivated souls I know. If we could guide all of the middle schoolers in the world to Mahikari, we'd have
that would be beautiful.
Dude, wouldn't it be wonderful? But I don't think I could do it at my present age teaching them because they're very energetic.
And the child who's there now is very different. I have a young person in the house now, and I got a new vocabulary word today, which I cannot share on here, but it entertained the heck out of me and made me think about it must come from across the pond. It's very colorful and it's off color. But it made me think of, gee, I could do a whole thread on, just language. And it also made me think about the spiritual function of the words. She's a gamer and she trash talks the friends. I started thinking about the spiritual, the impact of some of the threats that are getting thrown around. And I was talking with my partner and saying, I am thinking back to the mouth I had on me when I was 20 and some of the things that my husband wished I hadn't said. And I'm like, now that I'm thinking of it now, that was really pretty awful, Cynthia. I got some apologizing to do here too. And yes.
Well, I think middle schoolers would love Kototama.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would love to bring this to middle school. Middle school was, yeah. I loved. I gave it up to follow somebody.
That was our experience. We got to guide in the 5 years we were members here in the Heartland. We got to guide 4 or 5 middle school students.
Beautiful.
But we didn't have any Mahikari Tai to support them. And they ended up all dropping out because their parents dropped out. Actually, we guided 6 of them, I guess. One little girl was just absolutely amazing. We gave her light at a spiritual fair. At that time, she was 9. And I told her it might be really hard to sit for the 10 minutes, but to try. And she was so holy in the way she was sitting.
Oh, wow.
I mean, you could just feel her absorbing it. And she was taking the course with 3 little middle school boys. And they were just like all over the place. Every break, they were downstairs yelling and screaming and doing everything. And she was so refined. And we came to the light circle with her the first time or two. And she knew the prayer. And her mother didn't. And then her mother decided to quit and take her out too. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I've stayed in touch. Someday I'll introduce her again now that she's almost in college.
Yeah. Well, what better time? This weekend at the Valentine's Day open house in Atlanta, after we'd cleaned up from the open house, put away the food and stuff, 2 young men wandered in, college age, and they said they'd been going to meditate in the park, but it started to rain, and one remembered that his mom used to bring him to the center. He said, let's go to Sukyo Mahikari. And so they came and they received full light, and Jen, let me offer light to one who he was wearing heart-shaped rose-colored glasses, and I just fell in love with him. Oh, I love your glasses. And she's like, okay, Cynthia, you give a light to him. But then when the young man who had said, let's go to Sukyo Mahikari was leaving, it just occurred to me, would you like to take the course? And at first I said it was like next weekend. I was wrong by about a month, and he couldn't take it. He couldn't take it next weekend, but July worked. And as we went to sign up, I realized, I was off by a month. I was thinking of something else. And so he signed up for March, and, I'm not following up, but I'm like, woohoo. And tomorrow, Bruce Jose's name will be entered in Atlanta to be taking the course in July here. So he's going to be reaching out to you to get hooked up with more light opportunities.
That's great. By the way, he was at ceremony yesterday.
And Christian was with him as well? His son?
His son was with him as well, yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
2 of them came again. That's great.
Yes. Wow, Cynthia, your time is now. 2 people had no.
I was at monthly ceremony 2 weekends ago while I was receiving number 8 from Deracosa. Anna, the 3rd person from no, she wasn't part of the relatedness event, but she's somebody I know from this landmark connection we have, she'd just registered for the course, given her check, and she was being showed how to pray in and do all this. And her daughter who's 13 was with her.
Wow, Cynthia, thank you so much. And thank you, God.
Yeah, thank you, God.
Yes, Cynthia has been on fire, 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 fire. She's just amazing. We, for the first time in a very long time at the Atlanta Center, had all day light giving. And Cynthia is from out of town. And I have to say, thank you so much for your service. She drove all the way, even had a car problem, but she made it and she did all day light giving at the Atlanta Center. In addition to our open house that started at 12:30. So she is devoting her time to being of service to God, to being the arms and legs of God. So I'm so proud of her. Keep up the great work, Cynthia.
The payoff is so good. You can't make me stop.
It is tremendously a huge payoff. It's unbelievable. It's really unbelievable.
It really
thank
is.
you.
Thank you, Jan. And also, I can see Atlanta is on fire since you've been on fire for the last 2 years, moving them into expansion. So thank you. I can see how it's spreading. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Susan.
How many people have you guided since you took intermediate course last year?
How many people have I guided? Are you talking to me? Right now, I have 2 people. Well, one person has paid her registration for. I have 3 that I'm working on for July. 3 who have told me that going for July, and 1 more who was maybe, but we haven't talked again. I don't know that she's been to the center.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. So then you're on for. Do they still make you wait 2 years before you can take advanced course?
Yes.
And there's the need to review. So I'm looking for when we discover where the intermediate course might be being offered in the globe this year. Yeah.
Japan's a nice place to review. They usually provide you with a translator.
They usually provide you with a translator?
That was my experience, but that was 30 years ago. So I don't know.
Yeah, well, no, I would expect they do. They provide Spanish translation when you walk in. Yeah, I would expect so. I mean, we had a translator when we went to the Autumn Grand.
That's lovely. Let me see.
My husband, you can go fulfill his dream. You can go to the European headquarters.
I'd love to
see the castle, because he's not going to be able to go as long as we still have all this issue with immigrants. He's been guided by the Japanese consulate not to go out of the country since he's a green card holder.
Right.
So, but if they open, Susan, we're going anyway.
It wouldn't be too bad to be stuck in Japan.
Right. So, okay.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Cynthia. Let me check.
Debbie? Yes, I just want to say, Cynthia, thank you so very much for all of the inspiration and motivation, and you make it fun and joyful. And I just love so much being anywhere within your vicinity, whether it's on Zoom or whether it's in person. And I am thanking you so much. You are the epitome of spreading the light and teachings. And I really want you to know that you're making such a difference in this world and this universe. And I can speak for myself. You're making a huge difference in this universe right here, in this being right here. In my house, I have your cards. I have your coloring books. I have a book you wrote. Everywhere I can look around, I see Cynthia. And in the morning, when I see you showing up to the morning call, I just love you so much. I just wanted you to know that, for who you are and for how you put yourself out there and how you are authentically enthusiastic and joyful in your service. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. And since it's coming from you, it reminds me that one of the things I love about you, and a piece that is the setting of a theme for a year. Yeah. And so I just celebrated a new year recently, which comes with a whole new experience story, which you don't get to hear tonight. but it's very well. But you did. You got a glimpse of it. But my intention for the year was at 66. No. Nix the fix. At 66, I am expansion ready mix. It's like ready mix cement to expansion. So I had a real hard time with doing something with 66. What can I say?
I didn't start doing the theme until I became an octogenarian. Then I set a theme.
Well, I hang out with so many octogenarians. What can I say?
Well, it's fun. Mine this year is being free at 83. That's my theme for this year. And you are helping me achieve that because I am watching you and very vicariously. Because what you are engaging in, I would love so very much to be able to do. And I feel I am able to do it through your sharing of it, the traveling and the going to the different centers and offering like freely talking about it between, and Landmark also, because Landmark makes a huge difference as well. The cross between the Landmark and the light giving and how many people are both. It's magnificent in this world. But I just wanted to say that I am looking so forward to being in Atlanta in July.
Awesome. I will.
Because of you.
I'm so very, and you said that you will be very busy with, you'll have all sorts of family activities going on, but that you could, aim to be there for Sunday, Omitama reception ceremony. And that's just beautiful. So thank you for that. Yeah.
Well, I love the Atlanta Center because Latha, Viji's sister, made certain when I was in Georgia for the first time at our daughter's home at Lake Lanier that she came and picked me up and took me to the center, and we had lunch and we had the time at the center. I fell in love with the Atlanta Center, and then after being on the call with Jan, and I would love that call to be just a little bit later, but 6:00 in the morning is just a wee bit early on Saturday for me. But yes, I cannot wait to be there. Atlanta's fabulous center, fabulous, wonderful center to be in. Yeah. So
Cynthia, I will let you know that I had a friend. I was out with a friend one day, and on the way back, I saw Lake Lanier, and I said, "Can we please stop at Lake Lanier?" And I was just like, "What for?" And I said, "I need to give light."
Yes.
So I go, we go, you actually have to pay to get in. I didn't even know, but he graciously paid to get in. And I went to this spot and like a sentinel, this friend that I was with watched for me, and I offered prayers and I radiated light across the water around Lake Lanier. And we had dinner, and then as we were walking back, they were playing all this music. So we sat on this bench, and I said, "This is a great spot to just keep offering light." So I just kept offering light, and this dragon deity in the clouds appeared with two wings. It was so easy to draw. You could see it, and you could see the mouth that was open. It was blowing out, it was really so obvious that it was a dragon in the sky. I took a picture of it. I continued to give light. And this band that was playing, they were playing yacht music from, the Doobie Brothers and from the 70s and 80s, right? And all of these people who were walking by, just as I was radiating light, and somebody else told this story too, the same thing happened to them. I continued to, and people just stopped. They would just stop and started dancing. Before I knew it, everybody was covering that whole area, and they were just dancing, outrageously having fun. And I just kept radiating light, and I think they were all like enjoying the light, and they didn't know why they were having a good time. But they just kept dancing and dancing. And when it was all over, the band walked over to my friend and I said, they said, "Thank you so much for bringing all these people." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" They said, "We don't know, but the both of you were dancing. You were just sitting here. You attracted all these people and they didn't know why." And, of course, I didn't say anything, but it was, I got my opportunity to offer prayers for the souls at Lake Lanier and to offer light. And I did it we were sitting on that bench for almost 2 hours, dancing, getting up and down while they played music. It was, I don't even remember what the holiday, was it 4th? I don't even know what the holiday was. It was a holiday. And they had fireworks afterwards too. And we just walked into all of this. I just asked to stop to give light, and then all this stuff happened. But I wanted to let you know I took care of Lake Lanier. Okay.
Thank you. And well, I was told when I was there that there have been, and divine arrangement is just miraculous anyway, just watching it and knowing it happened, that our daughter and son-in-law moving to Lake Lanier, and then our being able to go there, and then my falling in love with the Atlanta Center, and then hearing about Lake Lanier. There was a lot of incidents on that lake that I was told really needed light on Lake Lanier.
And I need to go back. So when you come in town, let's all go and give light again to Lake Lanier. It would be good.
And who's to know that we've been invited, Ira and I have been invited to live there. And I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll see what divine arrangement is. But I am looking forward in July. I'm also entertaining. I have not actually officially had it happen yet, but I was looking to have a light circle at our daughter's home, if that's acceptable.
Oh, wow.
Lata will jump for the chance.
Let us know in advance and we can
Because
it's a little further outside of Atlanta, but I think if we have some, good notice, we can get some people out there.
Well, and she's talking about the dates around primary course anyway, so I'd be coming down and
We're going to be there from the 22nd to the 29th.
Of which month?
March or
July.
July, good. Okay, July. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I see.
An interesting note about.
Okay. Sorry.
Interesting note about Lake Lanier. There are a number of sunken cemeteries underneath that lake, and it begs the question as to whether these cemeteries being underwater and the disturbance to the souls resting there might be responsible for all the accidents that take place around Lake Lanier.
Yes, we did need an
explanation. A lot of people drive off the bridge into Lake Lanier. A lot of unusual accidents seem to take place there.
It's a very unusually large lake, artificially. I mean, it's a man-made lake, and the Army Corps of Engineers is responsible for the whole edge of the rim of the lake. And yes, a neighbor across the street from our daughter and son-in-law committed suicide this last year. One of their across the cul-de-sac neighbors. Although Cheryl and Greg are having a wonderful, peaceful, community, loving experience with the people there. And they're part of the community. Their first party there, after living there a short time, had 32 people, and now people are getting together and they're harmonizing. There's a lot of harmony and love around their life there. But yes, that area, definitely. And thank you. I did not know about the burial grounds.
It's more than just burial grounds. There were people who were living there were killed, and waters flooded the area. There were Black hometowns. There were many small towns. There's also stories of someone being raped and 2 Black men being blamed for it. They were lynched. And after that, they flooded the town. So there are a number of very, very negative things that occurred there. A lot of injustices and people dying for no reason at all. So it's more than cemeteries being flooded over. It's actual people and towns being flooded, and them trying to escape the situation. So it's pretty dark. The history is very, very dark.
Yeah.
And those people, I offered apology, but they're still due so much more because there have been so many people that have died at lakes. I mean, I live on a lake. I live on Lake Spivey. We've had zero fatalities or accidents there, but I take care of my lake. I live on that lake, so I get my lake light. But and it's not as big. It's only 700 acres. I mean, Lake Lanier is huge. It's a huge, huge lake, but it has a very dark past. Unfortunately.
Well, look how God is bringing Omitamas to Lake Lanier.
Yes, look at that.
Yeah, divine arrangement.
Yes.
Yeah, and Cynthia, for your service and your sharing and your determination, and you're saying with me, "Oh, I'm going to Atlanta. I'm going to go because I want to be there for the, for the course." And I say, "I want to be there for the course," and then because my daughter's there, I can come out there anytime I want to, and so yay.
Right. And I know it would be a whole lot to pile onto one weekend, but if you could do your light circle on Sunday after the new people had Omitamas, before the DC people had to hop on planes or drive cars back to DC, they could get their first light circle with brand new Omitamas. Just saying, it's a lot.
We'll see what the arrangement is. It may take a few of us offering light to the lake even prior to that.
Right.
Yeah, we'll see what the arrangement.
Yes, Thursday or Wednesday evening would be great.
Wednesday evening.
I just think sitting in the light all day long, I know how people are, they want to go home and pass out. So I don't know if they get out there, but if you do it ahead of the spiritual development course, we could get out there in the evening, like the Wednesday or Thursday. But I don't know, Cynthia, if people would make
right. No, I agree, Jan. Yeah.
We'll see what the arrangement is.
I know them. They want to pass.
Yeah.
So
the arrangement will be revealed.
We can start advertising our expansion calls as the place to arrange logistics for future light circles around North American region. And Bruce was recently in Atlanta. And so at Lata's house, they had a little light circle.
At Lata's?
Yes, Jan.
Yes.
Bruce, Lata, and another friend, Helen.
It was fun.
I see Sue Talbot's hand raised. Sue, did you want to say something?
Yes. Cynthia came to Cincinnati a couple times to our monthly ceremony, and she stayed at my house. And I live in an apartment building with 139 apartments in it. And she was just handing out coloring book pages to everybody she saw going up and down the elevator. And we ended up giving light to so many people. And she was just so much inspiring to me with her fire energy. It was amazing.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that, Sue. Really, to me, Cynthia is the modern day equivalent of the Energizer Bunny.
But my dad used to work for what was their competitor? Duracell.
Oh, got it. Okay, you're the Duracell version. And Susan from Charleston is sharing in the chat that after she offered light at the place, the Civil War started. The first STC in South Carolina happened. So she's grateful for the reminder based on this conversation today. That's lovely to know. And let me see, Joyce, how was your experience story at the Washington, D.C. Center? And I'm rooting for you presenting it here next month.
Next month, yes. It went very, very well. It's very different. And that's the beautiful thing about experience stories. The way, there's no cookie cutter way to serve God. God looks at what your strengths are, what you need to learn, and he directs you, and you perform. and or maybe stumble and then perform. And then bingo, you've got an experience story. So my story will be very different from today's because I do not have that energy. But that's not my mission. That's not my mission right now. Okay. Like I said, God gives you missions that are very unique. And with every experience story, I'm awed at the different ways that God uses us. It's truly humbling, truly humbling.
Thank you, Joyce. I can't wait. So everybody, next month, expansion call, Joyce is our speaker. And I see Bruce is waving. Yes, Bruce.
Yeah, I was going to mention I had the privilege of being able to listen to Joyce's experience story. It was very inspiring, very emotional, and the people at the center were very grateful to have had the opportunity to hear it as well. So great job, Joyce.
Thanks, Bruce.
Thank you, Bruce. And Joyce, do you have any thoughts for Cynthia?
Cynthia is very new in my life. And I'm looking forward to a long association with Cynthia, getting to know you, Cynthia, up in those mountains of Tennessee. I don't know
Kentucky,
how you do it.
Kentucky.
Sorry. Where did I get Tennessee from?
When I joined, I lived in Nashville. And they call me an out of town Tennessee member, but I'm not. I'm I'm out of town.
So I didn't make it up.
No, you didn't make it up. Yeah, people call me by the wrong name. They call me by the wrong state. It doesn't matter. I still answer. They call me to dinner too. I come.
Especially to that, I would hope. I would hope. But anyway, I'm kind of overwhelmed at my stage of life. I'm kind of overwhelmed by your energy, and I just have to step back and go, "You go, girl. You go, girl."
Oh, I forgot. She's got a daily channel on YouTube of gratitude that I tune into every day, and she says what she's grateful for. And everybody that tunes in, she asks them what they're grateful for.
It's not necessarily daily. It's when the spirit moves me and I can get a connection and all of that, but whatever.
Well, how do we know when to tune in with you?
If you subscribe to Cynthia Lee's Live in Gratitude on YouTube, if you just look up Cynthia Lee's, Lees,
yes,
then and subscribe. If it's a divine arrangement, like a notification will come across your screen if you happen to be on the phone at that moment, and you'll say, "Oh, I meant to be there." I see things like that. Sometimes I hop onto people's things. It happens or it doesn't. Sue Talbert's amazingly good at landing on them, though. So I was like, "Oh, okay, Sue Talbert's here." But I've decided that so sometimes when you're doing them, you'll see 0 viewers, but you get a thumbs up. So I've decided the ancestors are playing. Because how can you get a like with no viewers? It's got to be in the spiritual realm. But the other thing is when Joyce was talking about the energy to go around, first of all, I don't have the energy. I mean, I'm still recovering from everything that I'm doing. And I need to say that what inspired me to even start doing all of this was listening to Susan the Cow. Because they are forever on the road and going places and going places and going places. And so, and from listening to Joni, I know I may not be good at saying grace or offering light to my food as often as I could, but I'm forever praying in that car and raising my hand on the road. And that's a good thing, because when I pulled into the Gulf station on Saturday morning, the guy looked at it and said, "You shouldn't have driven this car across town." I'm like, "Yeah, well, never mind. It just came from Kentucky." So, yeah, it's all better now.
Thank you, Cynthia. Yes. Susan Nako and Sensei Nako, I think one time, based on what you were telling me, Susan, I think you guys drive 300 miles a week or something. They're always, anytime I talk, there's some light circle, and any calendar of events tells you the number of places they go to, and they have a Tuesday light circle in their house. Wow. Thank you, Susan and Sensei Nako. And yes, Sue Talbot, I see your finger raised.
We have a light circle in Louisville, and for me, that's 2 hours. For Cynthia, that's 4 or 5 hours, and she comes to that every month too.
It's Google says it's 3.5, so it's 4 because Google doesn't have a bladder. Google doesn't need gas. Yeah. I drink coffee. Hey, and I stay hydrated.
Cynthia, you just inspire me so much. Thank you.
Thank you for being inspired. Yeah, it's fun, you know.
Vinny Lee, do you have anything you want to share? A comment or ask?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I mean, definitely like Joyce things, like energized bunny, and it's a lot. How she goes, I mean, I'm sitting there thinking how she goes from one place to another place, and people here in Vancouver is like, okay, I don't want it too far. So we definitely need to up our game, how to, offer service. And, I mean, she's an excellent example of anytime, anywhere, any place, right? It doesn't have to be at dojo. It could be anywhere. She pull up her phone, wherever she's at. Oh, I'm coming in an hour. I give you light. So, I mean, I have to do definitely a lot more of that instead of just like, okay, where do we go dojo? I don't have time. But lately I've just been offering a lot of light everywhere. Holding my hand. I was telling Joyce, and Joyce like, I don't have issue with that, but I'm just like, for me, like just learning how to just hold my hand anywhere, and it's an interesting challenge sometimes just to just give light just that way. So I'm learning how to do that, and also really learning. And Cynthia's on some of the prayer cards. We're learning how to chant our prayer properly with Carrie, and that's been an amazing awakening for me as well. And how to, I didn't realize I wasn't pronouncing names properly and all that stuff. So I guess we show up in any way we can, and it's all good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vinny Lee. And for those of you who don't know, Vinny Lee also recently got appointed as the expansion coordinator for Vancouver, among a lot of other things. She's already doing a lot of amazing service. So when she says, I need to up her game, watch out North America.
Right. When I was in the Atlanta Center this weekend and I was talking with Derek Hossa, well, he was commenting on earrings that I had that are two people praying, and he was asking were those the people, could they be giving light? And I'm like, oh, let me send Winnie Lee with the wonderful 3D printer. And he's like, oh, we have one of those, the Yokatane. so you have reach, Winnie Lee.
Yeah. So Winnie Lee had given me a few spares, so I gave one to Derek Kosa when I visited last time. Yep. So, and he knows it's from Winnie Lee. So
yeah, there they are, Debbie.
That's it. That's it. This is from Winnie Lee in Los Angeles.
Mine's in the kitchen. Thank you, Winnie Lee.
Mine's
every day.
Yeah. I think that I couldn't go that year to LA. That made up for my presence not being to be able to be there with everyone.
You were there in a material form, even though it didn't look like Winnie Lee.
That's right.
Yeah. Sue Talbot.
Yes, Sue Talbot.
April 2025 was when I met you. You were walking into Rainbow Blossom to our light circle, and you were crying, and you said, oh my gosh, I was feeling like I was the only kumite in the state of Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that.
This one is a...
Yeah, it was nice. I only had to drive 3.5, 4 hours to get to Kumite. It was like, wow.
I'm so spoiled.
Sorry, Viji.
No, we all are spoiled.
Yes.
Thank you, Cynthia. Thank you. And now you're just converting everybody into a light giver everywhere in Kentucky and elsewhere. So I think you're going to have a lot of kumite. You're becoming like Susan Nakao. I think when Susan moved to Kansas, there were no light givers other than Susan.
But the people that I'm offering light to aren't in Kentucky. They're in DC. They're in Atlanta. They're in. I mean, you know, I'm getting. You know, there's the person I need to get back to who's now down in Dallas. You know, there are people that I'm meeting in breakout rooms that live else freaking where.
Yeah, you're the traveling light giver.
They will come, right? If you build it, they will come.
Yes. Okay.
Susan,
if you drive through Grand Slick, Kentucky someday,
we did.
He did.
We did. I have pictures.
Was the sign still there?
Yes.
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 Okay.
It's missing one letter.
Okay, that's good. So Mahikari Cincinnati started in Cincinnati, but it was we had a Kentucky Ren Rock show, and it was right next to a bar. And I remember being scolded by one of the present hosts that, Susan, you cannot invite drunks into the Center for Light at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I said, if they're sitting on my steps outside crying, I'm going to invite them in for light. But we were allowed to have a few kenchus there at Grand Slick.
Wow.
So there are people in Kentucky if you just keep looking. But yes, when I came to Kansas, there was no one, just me.
But was it just you or just you and Sensei?
No, Sensei was either in Singapore or Puerto Rico or.
Okay, so it was just you at first. Okay.
13 years. So for 13 years, he and I were not together.
Assigned somewhere else.
Because I was not an obedient wife. Because I had parents in Kansas that needed some help.
Assigned somewhere else, I say.
Anybody else? Anything else? I am mindful of the fact it's coming up to 9 Central Time, and Cynthia's bedtime is well past.
It's a couple hours ago, yeah.
Anything else for anyone else? No? Okay.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you for always being in yes anytime I reach you. And so many people on our calls, all of you always say yes to me when I call and say, can you be a speaker? Can you be a prayer leader? I thank you.
Thank you so much for organizing this. And thank you, Cynthia, for your presentation.
Thank you all for being here. And yeah, thank you, Viji, for the invitation. And yeah, for putting together so many things that I want to be involved in. Of course, I'm a yes.
And thank you.